Well, it's time for me to find a kindergarten phonics curriculum for my twins. We've spent the last few months working on teaching them the letters of the alphabet, but now it's time to work on some early phonics and reading skills. So I thought, since I was doing the research anyway, I might as well make a video about all of the different phonics curriculums that I found. So let's see what our options are. And at the end of the video, I will let you know what I decided to go with. First, before we get into the different options, let's just talk about some of the key features of a good phonics program. First, we're looking for a program that is based on the science of reading, which is a vast body of research that helps us to understand how people really learn to read. So it's going to provide methods that are the most effective when you're trying to teach your kids to read. We also want a program that is going to teach phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is the foundation of phonics, and it's really essential to help kids develop good reading skills. We also want a program that is systematic and explicit. This means that the curriculum is going to directly teach phonics in a specific sequence. And we're going to see if any of these programs use the Orton-Gillingham approach, which is a multi-sensory approach that is especially effective for students who struggle with reading or have dyslexia or other learning challenges. I'm not looking for any programs that focus too heavily on sight words, and I'm also not looking for a curriculum that teaches phonics in an indirect way. Okay, so now let's take a look at these kindergarten phonics programs one by one. We'll start with Logics of English. Their tagline says combining the science of reading with the joy of learning. So that's a good start. For kindergarten phonics, we'd be looking at the Foundations program, of which there are 4 levels. Kids will get instruction in phonemic awareness and will learn complete and accurate phonics rules, learning how to decode every single word with no sight words. They also include handwriting practice and early composition, grammar, and comprehension strategies. If we take a look at the scope and sequence for the first level of the program, I'm happy to see there is a heavy focus on phonemic awareness. So you can look through this and see that this program is very thorough. It's also interesting that you can get it in either cursive or manuscript form. This phonics curriculum has a lot of pieces to it, and you can either purchase them separately or buy the bundle. There's a teacher's manual and a student workbook, and you can flip through to see what the workbook pages look like. You can even download sample pages from the workbook. There's also this Doodling Dragons Book of Sounds. I guess you could probably get by without this if you want to save a few bucks. And then there are these core materials which you would use for each level of the program, so you only have to buy these once. So you could buy the whole set or purchase these each separately as you need them. Or you can get the Foundations A bundle, which will include all of this. There is also an optional online planning guide that you can purchase to help make planning and teaching this kindergarten phonics curriculum a little less intimidating. This honestly looks like a great program, but I do tend to get a little bit overwhelmed with all of these materials. So I'm going to keep looking. Next on our list of kindergarten phonics programs is the All About Reading program from All About Learning Press. This is a reading program based on the Orton-Gillingham approach, so it may be especially great for struggling readers or students who have been diagnosed with dyslexia. If you're just starting out teaching phonics, you would want to start with the pre-reader level, which is designed for kids in preschool and kindergarten. If you're not sure which level to start with, they do have a placement test that you can do to help you decide. The pre-reader level includes a puppet, which is kind of silly, but I imagine kids probably love it. You'll also get a teacher's manual and student packet, 2 books, a review box, and some stickers. You can also add on optional letter craft books. The pre-reader level includes 78 lessons, and the lessons are not meant to be completed in one day. Some lessons may take up to a week to complete. You can review the scope and sequence to see what is being taught here. It's going to teach the capital and then the lowercase letters in order. I'm not sure how I feel about that because it's been my understanding that it's better to teach higher frequency letters first, and it's also better to teach the capital and lowercase letters together. My twins already know their letters, so I feel like if I purchased this program, we'd be starting about 2/3 of the way through it. So maybe it would be better for us to start with level 1 if we did this program. You can view samples of the teacher's manual and lesson books to see what this program is going to be like. Each day you're going to be reading a short selection from the Zebra book, which is written in a way to help support phonological awareness. There are also craft sheets for the letters, which I'm sure are probably a lot of fun for kids, but I really cringe at the thought of having to incorporate crafts into lessons. I am just so not a crafty person, and I also hate the idea of all that setup and cleanup. I'm also not seeing any writing practice in this program, and since we already have the twins writing the letters, I'm not sure if this would be beneficial for them. I took a look at the scope and sequence for level 1, and that does seem to be more in line with what I'm looking for. There does still seem to be a lot of cutting and pasting and not any handwriting practice though, so I'm not really sure if this is the program for us. Next is a popular book to help teach your kids to read called Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. This reading curriculum is designed to help teach phonemic awareness, build a solid phonics foundation, and encourage kids to become enthusiastic readers. So that sounds good to me. This book is designed for parents to teach kids ages 3 to 6 how to read, and it includes 120-minute scripted lessons. The book guides parents to teach the sounds of the letters with very explicit instructions. It looks like it's really simple to follow, and I like that it doesn't include all that extra stuff like arts and crafts that I just really don't have time for. But it does look like this is just a reading program, so I'd have to find something additional to do for writing because I want to teach both at the same time. This is the most affordable phonics program that I've found so far. You can get this book for just $16.49 on Amazon. And if you go to their website, you'll also get videos to help you teach this program effectively, as well as free printable supplementary materials. So you really get a lot of phonics instruction for a very reasonable price. A lot of homeschool parents swear by this book, so it's definitely worth considering. But for now, let's move on to the next kindergarten phonics curriculum on our list. So I know I've talked about Hooked on Phonics a lot on my channel, but in this video, we're not looking at learning apps. However, the Hooked on Phonics Learn to Read program that you might remember from your childhood is still available to purchase. And it even includes free lesson videos to go along with it. And I've left that link for you in the video description because it can be hard to find. Those lesson videos are free to everyone, whether you've purchased anything from this company or not. So it's worth checking out. You can purchase the complete Learn to Read kit that covers all 8 levels, or you can purchase them individually or in sets of 2. For some reason, you can't find all of the individual levels on the Hooked on Phonics website, but you can find them individually or in sets of 2 elsewhere on the internet for less than $30 per level. Levels 1 and 2 are designed for the preschool level and will teach all of the letters and their sounds. Even though my twins already know all their letters, this would probably still be good to start with because they don't yet understand how to identify the beginning sounds of words. It's also going to teach them how to write the letters, which they already know how to do but could certainly use some more practice with. If you want to get a feel for the Hooked on Phonics Learn to Read program, I suggest you come here to this free section that I mentioned. You can watch all the videos and see what this program is all about. All you're missing are the workbooks, storybooks, and flashcards that go along with the program. My only issue here is that it is an older program and I'm not really sure if they've updated it. It seems like it includes a lot of sight words, but I'm looking more for something that's going to focus on decoding skills. I do like the workbooks that come with the Hooked on Phonics app, but I'm just not sure if these are similar to that. I also really don't want to sit my 5-year-old twins in front of these video lessons, so I'm not sure about this program. Next is an interesting kindergarten phonics curriculum that I've heard a lot about called Explode the Code. This is another more affordable Orton Gillingham inspired program that includes direct, systemic phonics instruction and multi-sensory activities. There are 3 beginning level books called Get Ready for the Code, Get Set for the Code, and Go for the Code that I could probably start the twins with, but it's really hard to know which level to purchase. I like the look of the worksheets and what they're teaching, and they're only $8.59 each on Rainbow Resource Center, so that's a really great price. They'll be learning all the individual letters and their sounds and how reading and writing goes from left to right. And you can also buy the teacher's guide as well, which gives explicit instructions as to how to teach this. It's fully scripted, so you just have to follow along and do exactly what it says, which is helpful for busy parents like me. Explode the Code Book 1 looks more like what the twins might be ready for, as this starts to get into blending sounds to read words using all the short vowel sounds. This book is only around $10 plus extra for the teacher guide, or you can get a bundle with books 1 and 2 and the teacher's guide for $29.50, which I think is a really great value. Since I'm looking to buy something for 2 kids, something affordable like this is really appealing to me. There's also an online version of Explode the Code, and you can get a free trial with just your email address. I've left the link for you in the video description if you're looking for it. You'll also get an email with details on how to get a free online assessment worth $20, so it might be worth signing up for. I don't have time to go over the whole online program in this video, but if you do decide to check it out and want to keep it after the 30-day free trial, it will cost $41.99 for a 12-month subscription for 1 child. Explode the Code seems like it might be my favorite so far, but we've still got quite a few more kindergarten phonics and reading programs to go over, so let's keep going. Next on our list is another Orton Gillingham program aligned with the science of reading called the Pride Reading Program. This program is especially geared towards students with learning difficulties and includes a repetitive, step-by-step, multisensory approach. They have an online placement check that you can do to help determine where your child should start in the program. I tried it and it told me we should start with the first level, Pride Beginning Letters and Sounds. There is a whole kit to purchase here, including the student workbook, online teacher's guide, and sound cards. There's also an optional activity kit and set of alphabet books that you can purchase. But if you just get the basics, it will cost $94.90. And for me, I just have to get a second workbook for an additional $29.95. So it's a bit expensive, but still relatively affordable for 2 kids. You can view their scope and sequence online. And for this level of the program, it shows that kids are going to learn all the letters and their sounds, starting with the consonants. You can view some sample pages from the workbooks, as well as a sample of the online teacher's guide. This is another fully scripted teacher's guide, so you just follow along step by step and say and do exactly what it tells you. So that definitely takes the pressure off of teaching phonics. You can also purchase the print version of the teacher guide if you prefer to hold a book. Looking through the sample of the teacher's guide, I really like that direct phonics instruction. I think this is definitely what I've been missing in teaching the twins their letters. They can recognize them and they can write them, but they haven't yet caught on to all of the sounds that each of the letters make. So I think this actually might be perfect to kind of bridge that gap between understanding what the letters are to being able to start sounding out words. Next is a phonics and reading program from Memoria Press called First Start Reading. Now I know I said we were mostly just going to look at phonics curriculums that were based on the science of reading, but I also wanted to include a more traditional approach to phonics for my viewers who are using more of a classical approach to homeschooling. This program is based on traditional phonics, which is how phonics were taught in the early 1900s. It has a big emphasis on short vowel sounds as well as proper pencil grip. So if you're looking for a more traditional approach to teaching phonics and reading to your children, this might be a great choice. It does also follow the Orton-Gillingham sequence of teaching the letters. This is also a very affordable phonics curriculum. You can get the whole First Start reading set for kindergarten for just $54.20 on the Memoria Press website. This set includes student books A through D, as well as the teacher manual. You can view samples on their website, and you can see the teacher manual gives very explicit instructions on how to teach the curriculum. Kids will be learning the individual sounds for each letter, and they'll be getting handwriting practice, which I do think is important. Looking at this program, it does seem kind of similar to how the Horizons Phonics and Reading program is, which is what we used when we were teaching my older daughter to read. It did work well, and she learned to read without any issues. But I was just thinking this time maybe we'd pick a program based on some of the more current teaching methods. It's so hard to choose. We still have 3 more kindergarten phonics programs to look at, so let's move on to the next program. Next on our list isn't a whole phonics program like some of the others that we've looked at. It's really more just a workbook. But I am including it because it does seem to have everything we're looking for, including phonemic awareness, phonics skills, and spelling, which is something I definitely wish I focused on more with my older daughter. It's from Evan Moore, and it's called Smart Start Phonics and Spelling. Although I've been mostly looking at kindergarten phonics curriculums, for this one, I'm looking at the pre-K level. Some of the programs we've seen on this list have the preschool levels just learning to recognize the letters, but the preschool phonics curriculum here actually has kids learning letter sounds and actual words. So it's not exactly a beginner curriculum. Looking at the sample lesson pages, this is definitely the kind of thing I'm looking for. It includes writing, it teaches kids what the sounds of the letters are, and it even has kids learning beginning spelling skills. Unfortunately, this one does not include any parent or teacher guides, but you could definitely spend some time with your kids working on the letter sounds for the letters in each unit before having them do the worksheets. To be honest, that's really all I did with my older daughter, and she did learn to read. So I guess I must have had a good enough understanding of what I needed to teach her. But for parents who are looking for more guidance or more of a scripted lesson plan, this is probably not a good choice. Then again, for only $10.99 for the whole book, this might be worth a try, especially if you're comfortable teaching phonics and your child doesn't seem to be struggling in this area. Another kindergarten phonics curriculum that doesn't have a lot of extra fluff is Adventures in Phonics. You only need to purchase just one workbook for each level and then guide your child through how to complete the activities. It follows a logical sequence teaching the individual letter sounds, and it does include practice writing the letters, which is definitely something I'm looking for. The Level A workbook is only $11.75 on christianbook.com, so it's definitely affordable. There's really no prep involved with a phonics curriculum like this. You just help your child in learning the letter sounds and then guide them in what to do in each activity. This type of phonics curriculum is probably ideal for parents like me who are homeschooling more than one child and are pressed for time. But I do wish it included some sort of instruction on how to teach the letter sounds. Some of those programs we saw earlier with those fully scripted lessons did seem nice. But for parents who are confident in teaching the letter sounds and providing support to their children, I think this curriculum would be just fine. You can even get it as a downloadable PDF and start using it right away. And finally, last on our list, I thought it would be good to include at least one online phonics and reading program. So I found one that is based on the Orton-Gillingham approach using direct, systemic phonics instruction. It's called Reading Horizons Discovery, and it's designed for kids ages 4 to 9 to learn the skills they need to pronounce and spell words correctly. In addition to the online program, you can also include instructor-guided materials, so you can get a complete phonics curriculum that is also used in classrooms. So if online learning is something that interests you or your children, this might be worth considering. I actually did do a full review of the Reading Horizons Discovery program on my channel recently, so I won't go into it in depth here. I have left the link in the video description if you're interested in seeing that video. You can also get a 30-day trial of the Reading Horizons program for $10. So you'll be able to test it out and see if it's something that you might want to use before fully committing to it. After that, the cost for 12 months access to the software is $199 a year for one student and $25 for each additional student. So while it is pricey, it is in line with the cost of some of the other phonics and reading programs on our list. Although if you choose to bundle it with the home instruction materials, the cost will go up a bit. Still, this is a solid program based on the science of reading that you can definitely rely on to teach your kids how to read, especially if you don't have the time to teach them yourself. If you were looking into something like ABC Mouse or Reading Eggs or even Hooked on Phonics, this might be worth considering instead because it's just going to use a more direct, research-based form of phonics instruction. So that was our list of 10 homeschool phonics curriculum picks for kindergarten. That was a lot to go through. Now it's time for me to decide which of these programs I'm going to get for the twins. It's really tough to decide. I don't have a whole lot of extra time to devote to teaching as I already have so much on my plate, but I want to make sure that they're getting what they need so they can grow into solid readers. So I'm really just trying to balance that all out. Budget is also a concern, especially when I need to teach two children at the same time. Okay, so first let's eliminate a few of these programs that I just know I'm not going to use. And sadly, although I know that it is a great program and it comes so highly recommended from many other homeschooling families, I just cannot get on board with All About Reading. Even though I know how important it is to make learning fun, I just don't want to have to do it every single lesson. Believe me, many a stuffed animal has taught lessons in my homeschool, especially on the days that I've gotten the most grief about it. It really is amazing how much you can accomplish and how much more focused your kids will be when you just use a stuffed animal to teach the lessons. But this program is just too overwhelming for me with all that I have on my plate right now. I'm also eliminating Reading Horizons, even though I know that is another great program. I'm just looking for something that I can sit down and do at the kitchen table with the kids. I'm also eliminating Logics of English, even though I think that one looks amazing. I just don't think I have the time for that right now. But I'm also eliminating Evan Moore and Adventures in Phonics because I want something a little bit more than what we did with my older daughter. So that leaves 100 Easy Lessons, Explode the Code, Hooked on Phonics, Pride Reading, and First Start Reading. I'm going to eliminate Hooked on Phonics. I can't really say why, it's just not my favorite. I do like the Hooked on Phonics app. I'm just not as into the Learn to Read program, especially with so many other great options out there. I'm also eliminating 100 Easy Lessons because I want something that's going to give them worksheets to do and handwriting practice. So now we're down to 3, and this is super hard. I really like the look of the Pride Reading program, but it is a little bit more money than I was hoping to spend. Explode the Code seems perfect for us, but I'm just really stuck on which level I would start with. First Start Reading looks really good too, although it seems the most similar to what we did with my older daughter, and I was looking to try something different this time. This was such a tough decision, but after careful consideration, I have decided to go with Explode the Code. And even though I'm a little unsure where to start, I've decided we can just start at the beginning because the books are so affordable, and that way we can make sure that we don't leave any gaps. I'll need 2 copies of the workbooks, but only 1 teacher edition. So that's just about $60 for books for 2 kids that will probably take us quite a while to go through. My only concern is that it doesn't get into the short vowel sounds until we get through these books and get to book 1 of Explode the Code. In my state, if the twins were actually going to school, they wouldn't be starting kindergarten until this September based on when their birthdays are. So this is probably just fine. I know I've probably left out a lot of great phonics and reading programs, but I just really wanted to have a list of 10, so I apologize if your favorite wasn't mentioned. I'd love to hear about some other great kindergarten phonics and reading programs, so leave me a comment and let me know what other programs you have had success with. And if you think I made the right choice or the wrong choice, I'd love it if you could let me know. There may still be time to change my mind. If you have any questions about anything from the video, please let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. And if you need any of the links for anything we talked about, I have left them all for you in the video description below. If you found this video helpful, please consider taking a moment to let me know either by giving the video a like or leaving a comment. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching.